Hello everyone. Hello everyone. How are y'all today? Uh, Hope you're doing good. Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you back. I hope all is well with you tonight. Hope all is good with you tonight. It's been a couple of weeks since I posted a video. I bet y'all thought I had quit, huh? No, I hadn't quit yet. I have no intentions of quitting, but sometimes life gets in the way of what you really want to do. I know many of you out there want to do a lot of things, and you have a dream and an inspiration or whatever. And don't it seem like life seems to get in the way? Well, I want to encourage you tonight. Keep pressing, keep pushing till you get that breakthrough. There's always the breakthrough after the press. First, there's the inspiration, then there's the press, then there's the breakthrough. You got to get the inspiration to do it first, and then you got to go through this period of pressing forward when nobody sees you, when nobody notices you, when nobody clicks onto your YouTube page, when nobody knows your name, when you're basically the unknown. Will you keep pressing? Will you keep seeking? Will you keep pushing? See, the universe is testing you to see if you're going to do this for the love of it or for the fame of it. People who do this do things for the love of it. They'll do it regardless of whether or not they get accolades, whether or not they get pats on the back, whether or not they get a lot of likes on their videos, on their channel, a lot of views and all this. That doesn't matter because what's in your heart is in your heart, and that is what drives you. What's in your heart. I just wanted to give that word of inspiration today. That's really not what my video is about tonight. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about uh, a common theme or phenomenon or something that a lot of people have been talking about on YouTube. I mean, you can probably find hundreds, if not thousands, of videos on this subject. Uh, so I decided to make my own video on this subject. And that subject being, are we in a matrix? Are we in a simulated reality? Is all of this real? Is all of this what we think it is? And what exactly is reality if you've never seen reality? At least since you've been in this reality. How do you measure reality from something that's not reality? And then if this is a matrix, a computer simulation, or we are just in somebody's mind. We're just a thought in somebody's mind. Just like so many deep thinkers and people that sit around and think about life and things like that. I think about those things too. So, so of course I've done a little, research, and I just want to give my thoughts and my opinions on it. I'm not gonna hold y'all long tonight. Uh, so, I guess the question being, what do I think? Do we live in a matrix? Do we live in a simulation? And then if we do, what exactly is it? Where did it come from? Where is it going? Why is it constructed? I think my answer to the question is I think we do live in a matrix. I think we do live in some sort of construct, but it's something that we've never seen before. It's something that we don't understand, but it's something that exists outside of what we know. Most of us have learned a lot of these things from our religious upbringing. We have religious upbringings that, that teach us, you know, there's a God, there's a devil, there's a heaven, there's a hell, there's right and wrong, there's commandments, and there's a breaking of those commandments, there's sin, and there's obedience, and, all of these dualities in religion. But what do you see when you read between the lines? That's my question. What do you see when you read between the lines? You got two people, they read the line, they read the actual line. Then you got these other people, these insightful people, and they read between the lines. And one way of getting knowledge on what this reality is learning to read between the lines. In everything you hear, in everything you read, even in everything you think, whether it be you speaking to someone on the street, whether you're reading the Bible, whether you're reading a book, watching a movie, this reality, until you learn how to read between the lines, you will never understand that this is a simulated reality, because this universe, this program is constantly giving you messages about what it is. And the only way you're going to see those messages is if you wake up. Only those that are awake can see what's really going on. They can see that this is a construct. They can see that there is duality. They can see that there is some sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word right now, but they can see that this is a matrix. They can see that this is a simulation. A simulation means it's similar to something that's real, right? So you go back to the saying, as above, so below. That's basically saying, as above, as below. You're basically saying this is a simulation of something else. Whatever is above is what's in this simulation. This simulation is mimicking the real reality. It's kind of a off version of reality. And what a lot of people don't know is, I'm about to break a secret to you. A lot of elites know this, a lot of rich people know this, a lot of in the know people know this, is that you create your own reality. And see, a lot of this is what a lot of these governments and all of these people and all of these people that know this don't want other people to know. Why they don't want you to know is because I don't know why. Because people like having that power over other people. People like having that power over other spirits, over other lights. It's kind of like the little boy who collects lightning bugs inside a jar so he can just look at them. So I believe that yes, this is a matrix. And you have to learn to read between the lines. So what are the benefits of seeing the matrix? I think part of the waking up process is realizing that you are in a matrix, that you are in a simulation, that you are in something other than you've been taught. That all of the religious, all of the television, all of the things were always telling you, and they were telling you the truth, and they were lying to you at the same time. They was lying to you and telling you truth. But if you read the line, you read the lie. If you read between the lines, you find the truth. So I encourage you, in everything you've read and everything you've heard, one key factor in waking up is learning to read between the lines. Yes, I believe in God. I also believe in the universe. I believe in the all. I believe in the Father in heaven. I believe in the Heavenly Father. I believe in Jesus, the teacher and the Savior. But in believing in all of that, I've learned to research and read between the lines. See, it's not enough to just believe. Believe, you basically is staking your whole entire existence and your future on something somebody's head, something another man had, an idea, a thought in somebody's head, because you don't have any first-hand account of anything that anybody has said until you get the first-hand account. Now, people have psyched themselves up into thinking, if you believe something hard enough, it becomes real to you. But it may not be real. It's just real to you because you believe it. And you got so many people out there that's like that. They believe things so deeply that it's become real to them. And all these cultures and all these people and all of these different cultures. For example, someone who's raised in the United States, in the southern United States, and they went to church and they was told all these things about God, Jesus, the Bible, and all this other stuff all their lives. They have been programmed into that. Same as a person who was born in the Middle East. And they've been told this, they've been reading the Quran, and they've been told this all their life. They've been taught it in their school. They believe that. And they told that the other one is wrong. And it goes on all over the world. All of these cultures have been sold a bunch of stuff. But until you wake up and learn to think for yourself. You see, there's a verse that people have says, well, a lot of times you hear a Christian say this, well, you're dabbling in, doctrines of devils. That's actually a Bible verse. Doctrine of what is a let's look into that. What is a doctrine of a devil anyway? Let's look into that. For you to believe in a doctrine of a devil, you have to believe in the doctrine. You have to believe in a doctrine. People who think for themselves are not in the belief of a doctrine. People that think for themselves don't believe doctrine. Doctrine are for those people who are indoctrinated. That's why you see people with doctor degrees. That's why you see preachers, they have the word doctor in their name. These people that went to school and colleges, all these schools and colleges indoctrinate you. That's why they'll call you doctors because of the doctrine. The people who think for themselves don't need doctrine because you think for yourself. You think for yourself, doctrine don't exist to you. So those people that say doctrines of devils, they're talking about those people who was indoctrinated into that. Learn to think for yourself, and you won't be indoctrinated into anything. Learn to believe your heart instead of believing what other men and other people are telling you all the time. Search your heart. Search yourself. Go within that inner court of your heart. And you will find so much more truth than you can ever get from me, any other man, or any book. And you do this by meditating and turning inwardly, turning off your mind chatter and quieting the mind. And yes, talking to God. I'm not one of those people that say you don't need God and that you can do it all on your own. There must be a God somewhere. There must be someone constructing, and they say we create our reality, but it had to start somewhere. And I think it's all interwoven. God, us, reality, simulation, all of these other realities that we can't see. And yes, I believe that there are other realities. There are other dimensions outside of our frequency range that exist right here with us. But we just can't. And until we move out of these physical bodies, we will move into a different place. And some people may even call it heaven. Some people, depending on your belief. This is why you create your heaven. This is why you create your hell. We are co-creators with God. If you believe in God and you believe in doing what's right, and you believe that you're not under this starch judgment all the time, and you're walking around with the weight of your own judgment, your own guilt on your back constantly, like some of these religions teach, always afraid of ending up in hell, afraid of being deceived and tricked. Why not believe your heart? Why not go into your heart and find God there? That's why Jesus said, turn inwardly. The kingdom of heaven is within. If you turn inwardly, you'll find so much more truth about this reality. It is a matrix. It is a reality, a simulated reality. A simulation of what? Of the true reality. But what is true reality? I think true reality is vibration and frequency. Something that is outside of the physical. Something that is outside of any dimension. It is where the light is. It is where God is. You came out from that light. And you eventually will go back to that light if you stay right, if you stay good, if you stay in love. And you will meet up with that light. And you will know that you're in the presence of God. You'll stay there a while and then you'll go back out. And that's the way it is. You are an eternal being. There's nothing that's ever been created, or there's nothing that's ever lived or died. There is just the here and now. Nothing is created or uncreated. It just changes form. So the way I want to help you tonight is this. Is learn to see the matrix by reading between the lines. How do I read between the lines? Meaning, instead of taking everything and believing everything somebody say, think for yourself about what it says. Think on the subliminal and the symbolic messages that it is sending you in relation to the matrix and the reality. Not religion tradition. If you caught up in religion tradition, you will miss the whole truth. You will miss the whole truth. And don't let somebody tell you, well, doctrine of the devil. But don't believe in the doctrine. I don't believe in any doctrine. I don't follow any doctrine. I follow my heart. That's all you got to do. Follow your heart. Because if you follow a doctrine, you following other men. I follow God, not other men. This is why Jesus was so hated. Because he didn't follow the doctrines of the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the religious leaders. He broke free from that, and that's really what he was trying to teach us. Learn to think for yourself by turning within. And then you will begin to see this duality matrix for what it is. All of the duality and the I can't think of the word for some reason, but it's like when you meet up with someone and it seems like a coincidence, but it's not. For some reason, the word would just not come to my mind right now. I know what I want to say, but I can't. But I think if you can feel my spirit, if you can read between the lines of my words, you know what I'm trying to say. Read between the lines. Focus on God. Focus on yourself and your heart. Focus on meditating and stop following the doctrines of men, because that's the doctrine of the devil right there, the doctrine of men. If you're not a doctrine-oriented person, you won't fall into any false doctrine because you're not into the doctrine thing. You're into God. And that's what I've been trying to teach you. Learn to look around you. Use your peripheral vision. You can see a lot of things if you use your peripheral vision. You can see a lot of things if you understand duality. You can see a lot of things if you learn synchronicity. That's the word I was looking for before. Synchronicity and duality. That's if you learn to read between the lines and notice and be aware and awake of the synchronicities and the dualities, you will see the matrix for what it is. And you will learn the keys of creating your reality for, some people create positive realities for themselves. And you got some people create negative, unconsciously, unknowingly create negative realities. But there's ways to do it, to create positive realities for yourself. And that's all I'm trying to tell you. Yes, this is a matrix, but I'm telling you this is a matrix for a reason. That you are co-creators with God to create a positive, loving, happy reality that leads to something good. So thank you for coming tonight, and I pray that you will awake and start going to God. Start going to God where He really exists, and that's in your heart. So y'all be blessed, and I'll see y'all next time. Okay? Good night.